Oh, look at the seeds. What have you done? What have you done? Was it you? Was it you? Because who would do that? Grader out the way. Oh, they're there. Probably one there to get the buggy over. It's a bit like leaving your milk out on the counter at home. So Gary the Wolf has given us some Christmas presents. Just show yours up, George.
Nice fancy coats.
It's got DeWolf on it though, isn't it, somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere.
Did it have it on the back? No. Yeah, and Anglo Growers bought us huge amount of oranges.
Apparently Lisa bought some.
Yeah, she bought some as well. So there's the pumps. It's a bit of a dark shed. We took all the strip lights out when Farm Assurance started getting arsey about having glass above wheat crops, so we just took everything out. Got to winterize them, which basically means making sure that the ignition's not left on the pumps, because who would do that? We've only left 2 on. Of course, it destroys a battery if a battery's flat for more than like a month. 9 times out of 10, it's game over. And just got to let the water out the pump down there, which you can't quite see. And then it's done for now. Well, we'll put some anti-bug in the diesel as well, and then put a forklift on the front of the machine and seesaw it a bit to mix it in. You only get fuel problems when you're using them, and you only use them for an intense window, so you don't really want a problem. So I've just put the C-Tech battery conditioner on there and see if that can bring us from the dead. I've never tried it in this scenario, so that'd be interesting for me. Zoom in down there, that's the plug. It's a bit of a fiddle. Wow, that's cold. You can see the rusty water coming out. Now the next challenge is to stop this seizing up. Don't quite know how that got on there. You come in then. So probably one of the last jobs before we knock off. I'm just going to blank a bridge off. I was talking to an NFU safety guy when they do their analytics. A lot of the thefts and burglaries. Where's the pallet signs? They always come in the rear. Look at the pallet signs, mate. I think we need an Apple tag on the pallet signs because we can never find them. Oh, they're there. Probably the last place I've looked. I really like these forklifts, but these pallet signs are atrocious compared to the JCB ones, which are absolutely fantastic. So George has got that little Miedema strip down to that. Not a lot left. Where's the conveyor belts? I don't know. What a beautiful morning. It's got a chill in the air, but very agreeable. See over there, we've got a new puddle. I've not seen one there for a while. So I'll have that sketched in on the maps as well. That field's all mapped for topography as well, so it's just a case of cutting one in the spring, which we'll surely do. Again, that field's all late 60s grant scheme. It's just come to an end now. To sit with George on the combine, it was fascinating to see the yield drop off on these sort of low areas like that, where you don't necessarily have to have a puddle, but the yield was like easily half where these sort of low areas were, and it just sort of reiterated the need to redrain the fields even where the puddles aren't necessarily visible. To show you how good this reversing camera is. Hell of a feature. So backing out the corn shed, you just aim for the middle of the door and just keep going. Do you want to come out? Come on then. So in this field here, we've got a field coming into a spring crop. We've got mustard, oats, various carryover volunteer cereals, a bit of blackgrass, actually a fair bit of blackgrass. And this was put on the back of the Sumo. Not too thick, luckily. I was hoping the mustard would have died by now, but it hasn't. I thought that frost would have mullered it, but yeah, first proper year it's come well after the Sumo. We did have some carryover last year and it made the soils coming into spring really wet and slimy. So I'm pleased it's no thicker than this. Yeah. We're not fully in touch with all the ramifications of having a bit of green cover over the winter yet. There's got to be a few positives, which I'm not entirely sure of yet. So obviously with positives there comes negatives, and we're still to learn some of those. Oh, it's fresher than I thought out here. Come on then. Well, this morning started like this, which is exciting. Have a look at this. This was outside on some stone. It's an old cap, bronze, brass. What little ladybirds in it. Chilling for the winter. I bet they are chilling too, actually. That looks freezing. Quick job, so the wheels are literally falling off our power washer. So I'm going to put this back on again. So this little thing's like a bobcat without the engine. And it simply goes on there. It has some sort of one-way washer, but they don't seem to last oh so well. Look after your knees, you only get one set unless you put another set in. Seems slow and blunt. Seriously. Actually, I've had this set about 6 years and I keep them all to myself. Tease this in here. Elisa and I last night were going through the electric bills, and we were in Woldmarsh, so we were brokered electrics. So we like to think we're as good as we can be on competitiveness, and we've got a huge amount of solar on the roof. But even though in October, guess how much our electrics were for these 3 fridges in this shed? Any guesses? £10,600 for October alone. And that, a chunk of that's standing charges and levies, which, Jesus, whoa, you know, that takes some sucking up, doesn't it? I just find it staggering. I just can't comprehend that. So when we sell a pallet of potatoes, it's not going to be long before we have to put that cost on extra onto a pallet. We're going to have to start rolling this levy on to what we sell soon. Well, if October costs that, I'm very nervous about November, because that could be horrific. So we have these store sets, so the fridges are working only in the day now to use the sort of best part of the solar energy. It doesn't quite cut it, it doesn't quite give enough energy, but it helps. It's not even touching the sides really. I think we're soon going to have a big windmill to boost the self-made energy up. But then half the time it's not windy. So David, tell me, why do you need the fridges at all? I'll tell you, in my own special way. I didn't ever thought when we built this store we'd actually need the fridges. And then I soon learned they're absolutely indispensable. We were getting like October and November was so mild, you couldn't get the heat out, and if you can't get the heat out, you'll end up ruining the best part of your quality of your crop quick. And when you've got a big chunk of potatoes, as we have in this store, if you're getting spongy potatoes earlier because you're not getting the heat out, they'll soon pay the way. But whether they pay the way by 10.5 grand, ambient cooling, if you're getting a good hard winter, it does cut it, but we're not getting those good hard winters early enough at the moment. Whether we will in the future, who knows. But for the market we supply, we need to store them at sort of 7.5 to 8.5 degrees. So quite an annoying speciality temperature threshold we need. Too cold, it upsets the sugars and gives you a brown fry. Too warm and you just deteriorating your crop when you don't need to do. It's a bit like leaving your milk out on the counter at home. If you leave it out in the day, by the time you come back at night, it'll stink. And it's kind of the simple version of what's going on here. So electric, we've lost. So with the electric, we lost a phase the other day, and of course it's blown another motor. 3-phase doesn't like running with a phase missing. So I've just got it all unbolted, and I'll see if I can get another motor. So that bit's separated from that bit, breaking this bit. As anybody who's got one of these machines knows, there's lefts and rights. So left and right hand tines, it's got a little crook on the bottom. And there's left and right springs. And if the springs are broke, may depend within half an hour you'll break a tine. Look, there was an article years ago in Farmers Weekly in the days before internet, but just after black and white TVs were a thing. I tore this out of an old Farmers Weekly, and it explains how to do it.